Hello viewers, welcome to this session. This session is on virtual reality, simulation and augmented reality. Nowadays, we can experience the flight simulation, robotic surgery, combat training, virtually visiting Mars, virtually running an Olympic 100 meters, singing on stage with the Rolling Stones, virtual learning environments with the help of VR technology. Unlike reality, the actual world in which we live, virtual reality means simulating bits of our world using high performance computers and sensory equipment like headsets and gloves. Apart from games and entertainment, it is long been used for training airline pilots and surgeons and for helping scientists to figure out complex problems such as the structure of protein molecules, etc. How does this work? Let us take a closer look in this module about the simulation, virtual reality and augmented reality. Let us learn the definition of a simulation. It is an instructional simulation, also called an educational simulation, some type of reality but which also includes instructional elements that help a learner explore, navigate or obtain more information about that system or environment that cannot generally be acquired from mere experimentation. Instructional simulations are typically goal oriented and focus learners on specific facts, concepts or applications of the system or environment. Let us see the snapshot of our Government of India initiative. Here you can see on your screens a virtual lab. There are several experiments placed on this virtual lab. This is purely a Government of India initiative with URL www.vlab.co.in. Here you can see a variety of experiments that too pertaining to each and every engineering field was considered. So, upon clicking particular engineering, computer science engineering, there are wide variety of branches over here listed: computer science and engineering, mechanical, civil engineering. Likewise, there are several engineering subjects listed over here, wherein which all these engineering having so many subjects which have the experiments. There are several simulated experiments listed over here, clicking upon which you will get the complete simulation effects. For example, let us see the computer science engineering, a simple course called as Data Structures Lab. This is a screenshot of the quicksort algorithm. Here, upon clicking the play button, you will get the complete simulation of the quicksort, that too in the best case, worst case and in the random case. So, likewise the student, by looking upon this particular quicksort algorithm, the student will easily understand how the sorting technique works. Like this is the one of the screenshot of the same URL, and let us see about the Robotics Lab. You can see here, this is the robotics simulation experiment. This is a kind of look and feel wherein which here a robot is being displayed, and depending upon the parameters we set over here, the extreme right top corner, the whole robot, the coordinates will change or the movement will takes place. There is another virtual lab, similar kind of them in Colorado University. This is completely the layout that is shown over here is the physics simulation experiments. You can see on your screen there are wide variety of simulation experiments, wherein which clicking upon each and every experiment you will get the complete simulation of the working principles of the physics experiments. Then let us see the instructional simulation, what it is. A computer simulation is a computer program that contains a model of a particular system, either actual or theoretical, and that can be executed, after which the execution output can also be analyzed. That is the greatest advantage that we are having. So, you can see over here on the screen a simple helicopter simulation. It gives the feeling of real flying. You can see the monitors placed just opposite to the person, and then Likewise, the sideways also. You have the left window pane and the right window pane also. Like here you can have all the controls. As you can see it in the actual helicopter, the whole controls were placed, and this is a kind of computer program wherein which upon clicking the controls or upon selecting the controls and other things, the whole simulation will be occurring. Next, let us see the applications of simulation. Computer simulations are used in the natural and social sciences to gain insight into the functioning of natural and social systems. In the engineering sciences, performance optimization, safety engineering, training and education they are used. On a large scale in the natural and engineering sciences, where such fields are sprung up as computational physics, computational neuroscience, computational fluid mechanics, computational meteorology and artificial life. They are also used on a somewhat more modest scale in the social sciences. For example, in the computational modeling of cognitive processes in psychology, in the computational modeling of artificial societies and social processes, in computational economic modeling and in strategic management and organizational studies. Computer simulations are increasingly used in education and training to familiarize the students with the workings of systems and to teach them to interact successfully with such systems. So, we had seen this particular thing even in the helicopter simulation. So, there the complete training is based on the simulation activity. So, let us talk about the virtual reality. This is also a kind of simulation. Let us see what is the basic difference between the simulation and this virtual reality. Let us start with the definition. Virtual reality is a term used to describe a three-dimensional computer generated environment which can be explored and interacted with by a person. It is a kind of immersive learning. The person becomes part of the virtual world or is immersed, basically a feeling of involvement of the user in the virtual world intelligently designed by the experts. So, here he will be immersed within this environment, and whilst there is able to manipulate objects or perform a series of actions too. The person wears a head mounted display, you can call it as HMD, or goggles, glasses, which displays three-dimensional images as part of their experience. So, the person completely immersed in the virtual world, and a performance of series actions are been taking place. Let us see how this HMD looks like in the next slide. Some systems enable the person to experience additional sensory input, like it may be sound, video and images, which contributes to their overall experience and form part of virtual reality environment. Some newer environments include touch or force feedback through a haptic device such as a data glove, which further enhances the complete experience of the virtual reality. So, this is what we are talking about. This is called as the head mounted display, or else you can call it as the HMD. So, by wearing this head mounted display, you can have the feeling of the virtual world. You can immerse in the virtual world. The concepts behind the virtual reality are based upon theories about a long held human desire to escape the boundaries of the real world by embracing cyberspace. Once there, we can interact with the virtual environment in a more naturalistic manner, which will generate new forms of human-machine interaction. It allows someone to fully immerse themselves in a highly visual world, which they explore by means of their senses. These senses we had already talked about. This natural form of interaction within this world often results in a new forms of communication and understanding. Virtual reality means blocking yourself off from the real world and substituting a computer generated alternative. Often it involves wearing a wraparound headset called a head mounted display, clamping stereo headphones over your ears and touching or feeling your way around your imaginary home using data gloves. Just see over here. This is a picture taken from one of the experience virtual reality, and the source is NASA Ames Research Center. So, this particular thing talks about the virtually visiting the Mars planet. So, you can see the head mounted disc, the sensory, the gloves which she was wearing, the whole thing she is completely immersed in, like she will be having the feeling of visiting the Mars itself. The experience of a virtual world mimics that of a real world scenario, but often without many of its constraints. Virtual reality allows the following. It allows you to walk around a three-dimensional building, perform a virtual operation. This particular thing is helpful for the doctors. Play a multi-user game, take part in a theater of war, interact with an artwork like installation, other things. There are plenty which we can list over here. So, let us talk about the features of virtual reality systems. So, there are different types of virtual reality systems, but most of all share the same characteristics such as the ability to allow the person to view the three-dimensional images. These images appear life-sized to the person. Also, they change as the person moves around their environment, which corresponds with the change in their field of vision. The aim is for a seamless join between the person's head and eye movements and the appropriate response, example, change of perception. This ensures that the virtual environment is both realistic and enjoyable. A virtual environment should provide the appropriate responses in real time. So, if you touch something, you should feel as the person explores their surroundings. The problems arise when there is a delay between the person's actions and system response, or some latency which then disturbs their experience. The person becomes aware that they are in an artificial environment and adjusts their behavior accordingly, which results in a stilted mechanical form of interaction. The aim is for a natural, free-flowing form of interaction which will result in a memorable experience. Let us see the types of virtual reality. A major distinction of virtual reality systems is the mode with which they interface to the user. So, you can list a few virtual reality systems. The first one is window on world systems. You can call it as WOW. Video mapping is another type. Immersive systems, semi-immersive systems, collaborative systems, and web-based systems. Let us see what are the basic differences among these virtual reality systems. Let us start with window on world systems. Some systems use a conventional computer monitor to display the visual world. This sometimes called desktop VR or a window on a world. This concept traces its lineage back through the entire history of computer graphics. In 1965, Ivan Sutherland laid out a research program for computer graphics in a paper called The Ultimate Display that has driven the field for the past nearly 30 years. Next type is video mapping. A variation of the WOW approach merges a video input of the user's silhouette with a two-dimensional computer graphic. The user watches a monitor that shows his body's interaction with the world. The third type we can talk is the fully immersive systems. The ultimate VR systems completely immerse the user's personal viewpoint inside the virtual world. These immersive virtual reality systems are often equipped with a head-mounted display. This is a simple helmet or a face mask that holds the visual and auditory displays. The helmet may be free-ranging, tethered, or it may be attached to some sort of boom armature. A nice variation of the immersive systems use multiple large projection displays to create a cave or room in which the viewers stand. An early implementation was called the Closet Cathedral for the ability to create the impression of an immersive environment within a small physical space. The holodeck used in the television series Star Trek: The Next Generation is a far-term extrapolation of this technology. Another system is the semi-immersive. So, it is most advanced flight, ship and vehicle simulators. They are called as the semi-immersive. The cockpit, the bridge or the driving seat is a physical model, whereas the view of the world outside is computer generated. These semi-immersive system we have seen in the helicopter simulation. Next system is the collaborative system. What about virtual world games? Do they count as virtual reality? Although they meet the first four of our criteria, namely believable, interactive, computer created and explorable of virtual reality, they don't really meet the fifth criteria known as fully immersive. But one thing they do offer that cutting edge of virtual reality typically doesn't is collaboration. The idea of sharing an experience in a virtual world with other people, often in real time, or something very close to it. Collaboration and sharing are likely to become increasingly important features of virtual reality in future. Next comes the web-based systems. Virtual reality was one of the hottest and fastest growing technologies in the late 1980s and early 1990s. But the rapid rise is of the www largely killed off interest after that. Even though computer scientists developed a way of building virtual worlds on the web, ordinary people were much more interested in the way the web gave them new ways to the real reality. New ways to find, publish information, shop, share thoughts, ideas and experiences with friends through social media. With Facebook growing interest in the technology, the future of virtual reality seems likely to be web-based and collaborative. Even nowadays, you can see on your Facebook, some virtual reality applications are coming up. Some people they share, or else some people who are into this design and development of virtual reality applications, they are showcasing the products and other applications on the Facebook, wherein which in future you can see them very frequently and quite often. Let us see the applications of virtual reality. Most of the people are familiar that gaming is an obvious reality application. However, there are a whole host of uses of virtual reality, some of which are more challenging or unusual than others. The applications we can talk of the defense applications, like for training and other things, education applications, healthcare, entertainment, fashion, heritage, engineering applications, business applications are there, sports, media they are using virtual reality, scientific visualizations, telecommunications, construction, films, etc. There is a long list of applications of virtual reality these days. Let us see a simple case study in education. The Second Life is an internet-based virtual world in which people will interact with one another via avatars and engage in a range of activities. They can explore the world, meet and form friendships with others and even exchange goods and services. You use this environment to build virtual objects with the option to add interaction. You also create and personalize your avatar, which can be a representation of you yourself. So this Second Life is nothing but they are using it for the education purposes also. So let us see just the look and feel of this Second Life. Here you can see the complete 3D environment, wherein which some experts are sitting over here on the dais and the avatars are just listening to them. So this is the look and feel of the Second Life, and this particular thing is becoming very popular in the learning management systems. Next you can see the simple training of military going on here using the virtual reality. Let us talk about the augmented reality. What is augmented reality? Augmented reality is a live, direct or indirect view of a physical real world environment whose elements are augmented by computer generated sensory input such as sound, video, graphics or GPS data. It is related to a more general concept called mediated reality, in which a view of reality is modified by a computer. As a result, the technology functions by enhancing one's current perception of reality. For example, everybody we are watching the newspaper advertisements. So nowadays the quick response code, that is the QR code, is very much popular. So when you see through that particular QR code, when you scan using the QR code scanner or reader, it may take directly to a website, or else it may display something else on your screen. Even it can attach a video also. So something is augmented on that particular pattern, that is the QR code pattern. It may be a video, it may be a URL, or it may be anything else which is augmented on the pattern, simple pattern. So augmented reality is defined as a form of technology where computer generated images is superimposed onto objects as a form of enhancement. Augmented reality is nearer to the real world than virtual reality, which is based upon fully immersive artificial worlds. It uses a variety of media such as graphics, video, smell and touch to mimic those found in the real world. It also changes the way we view the world. So just see here, on the table there is a simple pattern, that is the QR code pattern, quick response code pattern you can see. So a person is holding a camera, and that is a mobile phone, wherein which he has opened the QR reader. So when he directs the camera towards this particular image placed on the table, you can see a simple object is appearing on the screen. So this is called as the augmented reality. Some object is being augmented on this QR code pattern, which here it is not visible. However, when it is viewed through the QR code reader, it is viewed as an object. Like here you can see small kid learning the visiting places. So when she places the QR reader upon the object, it is scanning a kind of 3D image along with the features. Most probably the place where the statue is placed and what all there look the surroundings are being displayed, and she can go through. By clicking on each and everything, she can find few more details about the place. So this is also called as the application of augmented reality. Let us talk about another technology that is very much popular, that is 300 degrees video. These particular videos nowadays we are seen on the Facebook. So these videos are not just a static videos wherein which just by clicking on the play they don't play. However, you can see the complete 360 degrees video by rotating the things using your mouse. These 360 degree videos, also known as immersive videos or spherical videos, these are video recordings where a view in every direction is recorded at the same time. So here it is not just watching a static kind of thing, but there when you place the mouse and just rotate, you can see the 360 degree angle inside the video. Whichever you want to see, you can just rotate and you can see. During playback, the viewer has the control of the viewing direction like a panorama, a form of virtual reality. This is what we are talking about. This is the control. Suppose if we are controlling or if we are rotating towards the right, obviously the complete right side will be viewed, or else top, bottom, left side, whatever you want to view, you can view by rotating the mouse over it. So this is called as the 360 degrees video. Then comes the virtual tours. So all these things whatever we are talking about nowadays, each and everything is having the place in the education. Suppose if you take the case of virtual tour, you can just go through these URLs like www.airpano.com. This is the best example that we can quote over here. Just to try this particular example, there are several virtual tours. Virtual tour is nothing but these are just like walkthroughs. So, I will show you one simple screenshot. This is the look and feel of the airpano.com website, wherein which it is having best panoramas on the website, and let us see a simple example, that is the virtual tour of Taj Mahal. So, using this particular mouse, you can just walk through the Taj Mahal, you can zoom in, zoom out, or else just go inside, watch the walls, everything. So, just note down the URL and just have the virtual tour of the Taj Mahal. Here there is one fort given, this also you can walk through. And there is another URL which you can visit at your leisure, that is the virtual tour of Stanford University. Just note down the URL that I had given over here. With this URL, you can go through the virtual tour of the complete Stanford University. Let us sum up. In this session, we had started with the simulation, what is its definition, how simulation is done, what are the various benefits of simulation. Then we had seen the virtual reality, its features, what are the applications that we can have with the virtual reality. Then we had seen the augmented reality, then the 360 degrees videos, the walkthroughs and other things. So, here you can see whatever we had seen, all these technology, the latest technologies can be used in the wider sense in the education. So, we have to see the context where we can use the virtual tour, where we can use the 360 degrees video, where we can use the simulations and other things. Context wise, please select the technology and make the learners more like experiential. Thank you.